Welcome back to Farming Simulator and Oxygen David's awesome Calmsden farm map. So the 1.1 update dropped at the weekend and it's time to get stuck into a let's play on here. So this is going to be my what I call semi-realistic, so it's as close to realistic as I get, based loosely on Virtual Farmers realism experiment but with a slight relaxation of some of the rules. So we are starting with £500,000 in the bank. We don't have a loan. We don't own anything just yet. So seasonal growth is on. Just jump to the settings. I'll be playing on 5 times normally with 2-day months, but because the first month in the game is a 1-day month, I've got it on ×2 at the moment. Normal economic difficulty, just because I think playing it on hard will slow the progress too much. If we find it's getting too easy, I might turn it up to hard. So seasonal growth on 2-day months. Everything is on, so crop destruction, ploughing, fieldstone, which I kind of hate, but limestone, weeds is on, normal dirt level, trailer fuel limit is on, and high fuel usage is on. Worker buying is all off. What else? I don't do no tabbing, I do limited tabbing. So what I mean there is, if I'm using a worker, I will tab to the worker if I need to it's farm sim, workers get stuck, workers can't drive themselves back to the farm, so for that sort of thing I will tab. I use the park vehicle mod to try and manage that, so that I'm not just randomly tabbing around the map. If I've got a worker working in a field, I will tab to them if they get stuck. Yeah. I think that's about it. So no crazy auto loads, no cheaty plows, things like that. Realistic mods, limited budget, and we'll see how we get on. Obviously I am stood at the cow farm because it's what I like doing in farm sim. I like running dairy farms, so we are going to be running a cow farm on here. So we might as well get stuck in and start buying some land. So I think, so obviously we want to buy the dairy farm, or the cow farm. It's going to be a dairy farm. And I want a couple of grass fields. I'm torn between, field 10 is probably too expensive. Yeah. Maybe field 8. It's quite a big field. It looks like we technically own these 2 sheds opposite us anyway, because this is quite a small field. This was one of the fields I was thinking about picking up, but we might go for field 8. It's quite a nice size. Should give us a decent yield of grass off of there. That's, how much is that? 138. So yeah, we'll buy that. We are going to buy the common land. Which, yeah, I can do, which is free. That obviously gives us, there's the hidden field in here, and there's some woodland here, and there are some areas around the map where we might be able to get grass, which is obviously going to help us make some progress. I'm not sure actually. So we own further down here, and I'm not sure what's down there. Looks like some woodland. I'm probably going to buy field 6. That's quite expensive though. We can't actually afford that at the moment. We could do with an arrow for us to get some straw. So the other option is that we try and pick up some harvesting contracts. At the moment there aren't any, but the other thing I didn't mention is obviously I created the UK growth geo, and I'm using that because that's why I created it, to use on here. I'm using a version. It's for ongoing version 3, but we skipped version 2. So it's got some changes from the version that's released. I'm not quite ready to release this one yet. I've got a couple more updates to make. I think I'm going to extend the corn growth window a little bit. Been working with, oh geez, sorry. Names, mere names. I'm just trying to find it on Discord. Working with Farm Sim Gamer to bring a bit more realism into it. I think he's got a farming background, so yeah. Been chatting to him about how to change it, so it's evolved a little bit. still don't have cotton or sugarcane, obviously. So we've got a bit of time to harvest, so I'm hoping we can pick some harvesting contracts up. So our grass field here is ready to harvest. I'm wondering whether we should get ourselves some grass working equipment, get stuck into that, get ourselves a tractor and a mower, get some hay made so that we can get some cows going. I think that would be a good start. Maybe get some silage bales going as well. We've got quite a lot of grass, I think, so I'm sort of tempted by field 34. It's 50 grand. Let's see how we're doing once we're set up. So I think we'll head over to the store now and start buying some things. I'm not going to walk to the store, let's be honest. It's a long walk. So we'll just jump over to the store and we'll start doing some shopping. I think we need at least one tractor, perhaps something we can put a front loader on, and a baler and a mower and things. So let's get stuck in. We'll jump in the deals first and see what's there. I have actually looked at this, so I'm kind of tempted by the massive discount on the forage wagon. We're probably going to need one of these for doing silage. I quite like doing loose silage, and 27,000 is a really good price. 29 with the silage additive. Probably going to leave that off for now. We can always add that later. We are going to do a UK number plate. I think you'll work out what it's supposed to say. Not quite long enough, but so yeah, I think we're going to pick this up because it's a really good deal, and we are going to need to make use of one of these in the future for making silage. So let's get that brought. Now we really do need to think about a tractor. Probably going to jump into medium tractors. There are some great mods that have come out now, which has partly made this series easier to get going. So we've got the Fiat 180/90 that came out a couple of days ago. Not sure if this is a legit version as well or not. So this is a good option for us. 180 horsepower, plenty of power, front loader. Used this on Oakfield, I think, and I think I ended up getting rid of it. I can't remember why. There's this Ford. We would probably go. Yeah, I feel probably go for the 125 horsepower version. And actually, that pair might make quite a good combination. 70,000 pounds. We've got some of the older John Deeres that are an option, although they're quite expensive. And we've got some of Tyson Denny's 70 series on here. Again, this might be a nice option for us. And then some more expensive tractors. I'm thinking the Ford and the Fiat. I think that'll give us a nice working range of tractors. We need a mower. Not sure what I've got installed yet. We've got the Feller mowers, 75, 95. So that is 180. So the Fiat could run those. So that's quite a nice option, actually. Yeah, I'm kind of tempted by that. And then we're going to need a tedder so we can make some hay. Can I stomach a 4-meter tedder? I could probably ride a 6-meter tedder. Honestly, we could lease that. So I don't have any limits on leasing equipment. So maybe we lease the tedder early on. We need a baler. Got the little New Holland baler that worked quite well with going Ford and Fiat, I think. And then we would probably need a bale wrapper as well. I've only really got the Cavernland as an option there for 22,000. We could lease that as well, I suppose. Yeah, just to get us going. We need a bale trailer as well, so it's focusing on getting some baling going first. 16, 17, 40, 11. It's not too bad, is it? 11 grand for a bale trailer. Richard Weston is nice though, isn't it? Might be a bit big. Okay. Let's get our 2 tractors and see how we're doing from there, I think. We may not actually. Do we need to get 2 tractors to start off with? That's the other question. Is can the Fiat run in forestry? Don't we need any of those? So I'm looking for configuration. That'll probably be it, won't it? So front linkage. We've got a front loader. Go cookie or style. I'm going to go for style front loader. Tempted to go for this as our first tractor and then maybe hold off on buying the Ford. Because it doesn't change horsepower, we'll go for the free option on that. Tyres. Go for Michelin's, I think. But yeah, I think that is a very nice option for our first tractor. So let's buy that. We've also got to get this. I'm going to buy the Ford as well. So we'll get the Ford with a front loader attacher as well. That's got a front 3-point with a PTO. Can we get machines on here as well? No. We'll go for wide tyres with that. And we've got front loader attacher. Do I want it chip tuned? Do I want 150 horsepower or 120 horsepower? We want 150 horsepower, don't we? Okay. So, 2 tractors and a loading wagon so far. We need to pick up a front loader. Probably only really need a front loader on 1 tractor, if I'm honest. Look like they both have, and that's interesting. I don't have any stall front loaders installed. So we'll have to get that sorted afterwards. Let's get the mowers brought. We're definitely going to buy the mowers. When I did this last time, I leased the mowers, didn't I? We're going to be mowing a lot more because you can cut the grass a lot more often in 22. So we're going to buy the mowers. I do suspect we will be going quite heavily in debt. Ooh, that's loud. Let's get that turned down a bit. Sorry. I'll manage the volume in the edit. You'll be fine. Seems like that's the Ford I have tested. The Fiat I have not. It's a mod with a pretty good pedigree, so I just thought I'd go for it. I am wondering whether I should record an auto drive network so that we can use auto drive to run these backwards and forwards. It's probably sensible, isn't it? We can then get a helper to start doing some of the work for us. So we'll do that. We'll bring up edit and record, and we'll call that waypoint, and we'll call that shop. Let me to unfold the mowers, and we'll head back over to our yard. So I really don't know my way around Calmsden very well yet, so we are straight down and then down the side of the cow field. We're going to mow pretty much everything because we don't have grazing in FS22. So the cow field will get mowed as well. We'll do it all as hay for this first cut, so that we can just get some cows in, feed them some hay, and then second cut we'll do some silage, or if we can pick up a baling contract for some silage, that would be good. What I'm really looking for once we've got this going are harvesting contracts. Now, I should have done this as a two-way course, because we're not going to be able to drive back along here anyway, so that was a rookie mistake. But yeah, looking for some harvesting contracts. We will release the kit to do those, to get some straw. So I've got the straw from contracts mod switched on, so I'm going to be making use of that to get us some straw. So it's debatable whether that's realistic or not, because if you're harvesting a farmer's field, there's a good chance he's going to want the straw. Curious what people think about that. In the past, I have paid the farmer a nominal fee for his straw, given that we take it off of the field, so we bale it and collect it. So we are saving him a fair bit of work. So interested to know what people think about that as a way of doing things. I think I have screwed up our first turn already, so we're going to stop recording. And no, I don't want that. Delete. Now let's try and get back lined up vaguely on the course that I was on. So yeah, in terms of other realism mods, I'm not a fan of manual attach, so I don't use it. Yeah, I just don't like it, so I don't use it. Courseplay we will be using, auto drive we will be using as well. We very quickly don't have much money left, so where are we going to call our yard? About here. So nice thing about Calmsden, nice thing for me, there's no traffic, so we don't have to worry about that. So we'll call that cow yard. We'll drop the mowers off. I need to find somewhere to loop around, because there ain't a lot of room. I think actually I'm not going to worry about that too much now, because we don't need a continuous loop. So let's find somewhere to put the mowers, and we'll head back over to the store, and we can then get the Ford to come back with the forage wagon, and we can pick up the least header, I guess. We need a windrower as well, aren't we? So I will work out properly where I'm going to put everything after we've mowed and stuff. And we will be selling off the stack of crappy bales, because I like keeping my maps fairly tidy. So we're probably as well going to get someone to pick the caravan up and some of the stuff in here, and we're going to put our manure pit in this corner here. So unlike the video that I recorded where I put the manure pit actually in the cowshed, we are going to have a normal manure pit outside, and we're not going to be mucking out the cows probably. So let's get back over to the store. I think we'll torn about how to do this video, whether we just keep going like, I'm going to keep going like this for a bit, just for the first one. So this series is going to be like my normal time-lapse videos, where I generally try and record a bit of an introduction like this, and then we get into time-lapse with commentary. But for now we'll just get things set up, and then we'll get into some field work today. There are some fertilising contracts which I'm quite tempted to do. They seem to pay quite well on Calmsden, I'm guessing because the fields are huge. I do have vehicle control add-on installed, and I will be using the GPS that's built into BCA. It's just how I play. So I don't dislike Wobster's GPS. I prefer the BCA GPS. It just feels really intuitive to use for me, so I use it. And if my tractors are too old to have GPS, then I got aftermarket GPS fitted. Just how I play. Yeah, it'd be nice. There is a baling contract on field 7. I think, I don't know what it is, but maybe we could pick that up as well, because we will have all the kit to do some baling, unless it's silage, and then we won't have a silage wrapper. But that might be quite good, because we could do with some early silage bales. I am going to link this one up, just because it's easy. He says as he nearly screws it up. So let's jump in the Ford and get him sent back with the loading wagon. We technically don't need this for a while. And actually, the problem is we don't need a bale wrapper. Because if we're going to do silage, we can do pit silage. So yeah, we are going to need to get a front loader, but we don't need it right now, and I need to install the right one, I think. So auto drive, cow yard. Just going to check. I am going to pay for work, because I quite often don't. What I'm going to do is put it at 50%, because auto drive sometimes gets itself lost and does stupid things. So off he goes. G. Need to lease a tedder, and we need to look at a windrower. Well, probably going to lease the windrower, because we're getting fairly short of cash. So although we're leasing it, we are going to not going to go crazy. We are going to go for the fairly small one, and although I said I'd play realistically, we are going to stick the tedder on the front, and we're going to stick a windrower on the back. And I think the Samaz is probably about right for us. Not a fan of the fellow one, so yeah, and we are going to lease that as well. So we'll get our grass work done today, get that out of the way, get these returned. When we come to doing silage, what I might do is put the front mower on, and then put the forage wagon on the back. I need to pick up the windrower first. Yeah, so we won't need the windrower for that, so yeah, we can return that. Which one is that contract? A hay contract? Silage. So maybe we will release the kit to do that silage contract at some point as well. Get ourselves some silage bales in the bank, either to sell to the BGA, because that common land that we brought came with the BGA, or to make TMR with. As soon as it is released, we will be adding Maize Plus on here. So I am going to be thinking about crops with Maize Plus in mind. So we may want to plant some sugar beet or something like that for feeding the cows next year. And we're going to want some barley or something like that, probably, and maybe some canola or some soybeans. So we do need to look at getting a field, probably getting a field that's big enough that we can put 3 arable crops in it. It's probably how I'll do it, or two grain crops and a root crop. The issue we have is that we don't really have any cheap root crop harvesters, so maybe if we could pick up a contract for that, for some potato or some sugar beet harvesting, that would be cool. I've not looked on a map to see if there are any potato or sugar beet fields. I'd be surprised if there aren't, so that is definitely an option for our first year. As FS stands at the moment, we can't do anything with those for feeding the cows, but I want to think ahead for when Maize Plus comes out. So I'd like to be set up and prepared for that, so that when we add Maize Plus, we are good to go for feeding the cows properly. But I think we are good to go for our haymaking now. We don't have the baler yet, but that is something we need to run up to the store and get. But we do have everything else that we need. Turn that off. And that these at least, so we don't really need to worry about where we're putting them. I will find places to put everything once we are established. And as soon as we've got some feed, we will be getting into some cows, because that's what's going to make us our money, I think. Let's get the forage wagon put away somewhere. I think for now it can go in the silage pit. We don't have a huge amount of space with this yard, but and that's why we were coming back so slow. Our auto gearbox is a bit clunky in the Ford. Not a problem. Yeah, I might have a look at fixing that. For now, that's fine. We're probably going to be doing most of the driving ourselves. When I did this before, I did most at the start. I did so much of it with one tractor when I did the series on Sandy Bay, until we got that really cheap old case that I think was then in almost every series that I made, because I fell in love with that tractor. So we'll worry about getting the baler afterwards. Let's get stuck into mowing some grass, I think, because we want to get something done. So just checking the contracts. Yeah, we've got these 3 fertilising contracts that I'm really keen to pick up. We will buy ourselves a fertiliser spreader to do those. 1 contract will cover the cost of buying that fertiliser spreader, so we'll be making some money there. And fertilising contracts are always a good way on a series like this of bringing in some extra cash. So I'm going to get the motors set up, and I'll be back with you in a second. A brief pause there to catch up with a few things outside of the game. I will probably be getting some of this stuff cleared away from the yard as well. I generally prefer to keep things slightly cleaner. It's just how I like things to look. So yeah, there's a good chance that some of this clutter will be going as we progress through into playing properly. Things like the old muck spreader will be getting sold off. And let's get our first bit of grass work done. So I don't remember ever making serious use of the both of the fella mowers. So this is from the fella grass working kit that was your package that was just released, and I think they are going to get a lot of use on here. So we obviously have field 8 that we have just brought, we have the cow field, and we have the infield that we will be mowing. And probably once we're more established, I know there are some other areas on the map that we can probably get a mower into and grow, and we will be making use of those. This isn't a roleplay series, I don't do roleplay, but the kind of the reasoning behind me doing that is I tend to put it down as we are maintaining those common areas. So around where I live, this sort of the local parks and things get mown by, not by a farmer, but by kind of the agencies that take care of those parks, and they do mow them and bale them for hay. Now they are then rolled into the hedgerows for the hay to be used for, probably for wildlife habitat, I think, but they do mow them and make hay from them. So my logic around that is that I am helping to maintain the area, and we don't charge them for mowing it, and we get the hay out of it, or silage. But yeah, that's how it works. When I was playing on Sandy Bay, obviously there were the big areas of public land around the castle and things, and we were mowing those to keep them nice for the tourists, and for this we are mowing just to keep the area looking nice. As we go through that process, we might tidy up a little bit, we might plant some nice grass, who knows. This is what I consider to be my first real Let's Play series on here. So I have my survival challenge series, but that's kind of a bit different to how I normally play, at least at the moment, because we are establishing ourselves. kind of slightly past surviving, but you know, we're certainly not a fully fledged farm. And then Ravenwood Dairy was, well, we just missed that bit. We didn't forget to put the mower down. Ravenwood Farm was an established farm before we took it over, so it had all the kit and we had lots of land. And we don't really have to worry about anything like that. Whereas on here, you know, we've got two grass fields, no arable land yet, not much kit. So yeah, the cows. Obviously, I'm going to be buying a mixture of ages and probably a mixture of beef and dairy as well. So the cows are going to be giving us some income because they'll produce milk earlier than they did in FS19 season, so that's nice. And the BGA will be giving us an income from grass that we can sell, and giving us digestate. So we probably need to pick up a digestate spreader at some point, maybe a roll off for the grass fields. Planning to get all these ploughed in once we get into the winter time, so that we don't get weeds, and so we get the bonus for being ploughed. We'll probably plough them, line them, reseed them, and at that point we might own an arable field as well. We've got a few months to worry about getting that sorted, so hopefully with some heavy use of contracting we can get in a position where we can afford that, although we've got to buy cows. I guess the other thing to mention is that with animals we have to use a trailer. We can't buy them at the farm, so we are going to probably lease a cattle trailer to get that done. I think that's it. I've just been really keen to get into this series. So the Sandy Bay series that I did, I played 5 years. I can't remember how many episodes I made. I really loved that series, and I'm hoping this recreates that for me. As I said, we're playing on normal difficulty, and if I find that's too easy and we're progressing too quickly, I will turn it up to hard. We'll just see how we go. Yeah. Got the 8K texture pack installed, and the seasons changes that Oxy did. So we've got the nicer graphics, got the PC only brands installed as well, which affects a few things. Yeah, just really looking forward to getting stuck into playing properly on here. While there's a lot going on with Courseplay, there'll probably only be one video a week. This video is probably going to be quite long, I suspect. But normally there'll be my sort of 10-15 minute mix, hybrid time-lapse chatty video thing that I do. Once the tutorials settle down, we will be going up to at least 2 videos a week, but once Maze Plus drops, I'll be doing Maze Plus tutorials, so we'll just see how it goes. That's the other thing to mention is we are getting very close to 1500 subs, and 1500 subs means I can apply to be a Giants partner, which is just insane. So if you've followed the channel for a few months, you will know that before Christmas I was hoping to hit 650 or 700 subs, and we're now at almost 1500 subs, and it's not even 2 months later. So to all the new subscribers, thank you very much, it's really appreciated. The people that are buying me a coffee through Buy Me a Coffee, really appreciate that. I set that up on kind of a, I'm just going to set this up and see if it does anything, and I've been kind of shocked. The first few times it happened, I was a little bit, yeah. So yeah, that's really cool. It's letting me do some things which may get announced in the future, but yeah, it's that's weird. It suddenly got a massive speed boost. It's a gearbox thing. It's a gearbox thing. Noob alert. So we do have a bit of a problem with the mowers not staying in touch with the ground, where the terrain moves about, which is not a huge problem, but is a little bit annoying. I guess that's a feature of this kind of mower setup. Looks like we might need to run manual gearboxes with these 2 tractors, or semi-manual. Obviously you can change up gears if the tractor is getting stuck whilst it's on automatic mode. But yeah, we may have to put these into manual mode. That's a lot better. 40 miles an hour instead of 6 is much nicer. So yeah, the buy me a coffee and YouTube starting to pay me is hopefully going to let me do some different things in the near future, which is cool. So Discord has really picked up lately, and there's a really nice little community on there now. A bunch of guys that are chatting most of the day, helping each other out with stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. It's not what I expected from the first 18 months of doing this, where things were really slow. But I guess that's how it goes. I'm not saying that things are suddenly now completely insane, but from where the channel was and how slow things were going, it's pretty awesome. So thank you for watching and making this happen. So as much as I sit and play farm sim and chat to people and make videos without people watching them, I would just be a crazy old guy sitting talking to himself in a hotel room at the moment, which I kind of am. But yeah, it's really cool. So I think what I'm going to do is get this field mown, and then we will jump into the time lapse, because I think I'm at about half an hour at this point, and I would like to get the hay made in this video, and otherwise it's going to be an hour. I don't think people are going to watch an hour long video, so we'll get this field mown, and we will then get stuck into time lapse. She's struggling. She is struggling. I guess we are right on. I think this was 170 horsepower for these mowers, and we're at 180. So yeah, with some hills we're going to struggle a little bit, and this is quite a hilly map. So I would like to get so that we own most of the kit that we use. Probably not going to own a combine for a while. There are some old combine mods about, but the only one that we could likely be able to afford is the John Deere one that I'm running on the Survival Challenge. I don't want to do that, so our long-term goal is probably to pick up something like a Class Dominator, or a New Holland, old New Holland, but I don't want to do that at the moment. So we will be leasing our combines. There's a good chance we'll still be leasing one of those old combines just because they're cheap, and money is probably going to be tight for a while. When I do contracts, I can lease the contract equipment, so we will be doing that for what I'm hoping is to be picking up some big harvesting contracts over the 2.5 months of harvesting season that we have. There are a bunch of fields that are ready of harvest. I just can't get those contracts to crop up, so I use the refresh contracts mod, not popping them. We've got some weeding, we've got some fertilising, we've got baling, we've got seeding, but not harvesting. So probably next episode we'll be getting a fertiliser spreader, tackling some of those fertilising contracts, and hopefully that will then get the baling contracts to pop. I'm not sure if there's some sort of limit on the number of active contracts we can have. So yeah, we'll get that, and that'll bring us in a bunch of cash as well, which is going to definitely be needed with 2 tractors and courseplay. And we will be paying, I'll probably do the same as I did for drive. I'll put the courseplay wages to 50%, just to allow for the fact that courseplay does some random stuff as well, and we'll be running. We can get courseplay going maybe on some contracting for us, get some money coming in. Probably it won't, I'm not going to get silly on exploiting things and just constantly have courseplay running with a worker with leased kit. That's pushing things a bit too far for me. I might take one harvesting contract and get the kit and then use that to do the other fields. It might be a bit unethical sometimes. You've got to make your way in the farming business. we need to get ourselves established, and until we have things like a combine, we're going to do what we need to do to make that money. But yeah, just really been looking forward to getting stuck into this series. I just didn't want to start while we were waiting for the update to the map, because although most of the updates didn't need a new save, some of them did, and so I just wanted to have the full experience of the map working well. It let me make a few tweaks to the geo as I experienced stuff from people feeding back things that they noticed. So yeah, we will be getting going on here. It just looks so good. It does just look so good. It's so nice having a UK map with real UK feeling roads and farms. So I used to live not a million miles away from here, a couple of hours drive, and it feels very much like the area. Driving a tractor around on here feels a lot like this part of the UK. So although I've done a little bit of playing on here, done some testing, done some other stuff on here, and it feels like the UK to me. It has completely transformed Calmsden 22, I think, to the game it needed to be. And I'm really looking forward to Greenlands as well. Waiting for that to pop out, or reappear on the testing list and then pop out of it. So that's this first field mown. We will let's fold the mowers up. I'm going to mow the cow field, and then we'll get these two tedded and windrowed and baled, and then we might head over to the secret field. We're going to have to plough through a couple of trees and stuff, or I might actually open up a hole in the wall for that and put a gate in so that we can make use of that area. Everyone knows it's there. It's not a secret anymore. So yeah, time-lapse time, I think. So future me will be back with you in a moment. And here we are. Yeah, while we don't have seasons grazing, I think it makes sense to mow this and get some hay for our future cows. Once we get grazing, obviously we wouldn't be able to because the cows would graze it. But the cows aren't in here yet, and grass grows really quickly in FS22. So let's get it mown, get some hay stored. It's probably going to be a month or so before I actually look at getting the cows, because I want to get some silage in the bunker as well. A couple of options for getting the silage. We've got the secret field that I mentioned, and over by the store there is a bit of a meadow as well, which we could mow. It means a lot of carting with the forage wagon, but hey, it's all the grass cut I want to do. Try and find somewhere to put the mowers. All of these sheds have really low doors, so we're going to end up just parking under here. Just got all the junk sold or cleared because it costs us money, but we're going to end up parking the mowers under here. And then I think we need to go up to the store and get ourselves... No, I've already done that. Sorry. Bit of brain fade. We need to get the tedder on and get things tedded. Reasonable sized tedder, and this little Ford is quite a nice tractor. Actually, a bit like the Fiat. The gearbox is a bit funny, but I think that's... I think setting up gearboxes in FS22 is quite tricky, is my feel. So a lot of these older tractors with like the I'm not sure what kind of the sort of multi-range gearboxes, they do seem to struggle a little bit. So but yeah, I really like this tractor. So these two are a perfect combination, I think, for on here. And yeah, we're going to get all of this tedded. Yes, I'm using GPS. Yeah. Get all this tedded, we'll get it windrowed, and then we'll go and lease ourselves a baler. I did at the end of this video pick up the front loader and a bale trailer, but I forgot to record it. So when we get into the next video, you'll see I've magically got a front loader and a bale trailer, and the bale trailer was interesting. I'll show it to you in the next video. The tedding is done, and we need to do the windrow. I'm going to stick the windrow on the Ford as well. The Fiat's probably overkill. I'll just drop the tedder by the barn there. Probably don't need it again. I'm going to return the tether. I think we will hang on to the windrower for making some silage next time. I guess while I'm kind of waffling away, thanks to the people that are buying me coffee still. It's awesome. Really appreciate it. And also, even if you've watched 45 minutes of the video at this point, you're really helping as well, because you've probably watched a few ads at this point, and those all help. Coming up on the channel, probably done. I'm struggling with ideas for courseplay again, so I will have released or will have recorded by now one on using forage wagons. Someone requested one on using different types of mowers, so I'm actually going to do on that is do a video on offset implements and how to use those, because that picks up mowers and things as well. I think I've probably said this in a few videos. Need to do beef cattle, need to revisit chickens, and then yeah, hopefully we'll have some more cool stuff. Mace Plus must be getting close now. I've not seen an update from Paul in their Discord, but I think February was kind of when they were hoping to get that out still. And I guess the other thing is Giants have released we're going to get the first DLC next month. No details on what's going to be in it, so speculation in the comments below. What do you think it could be? What would you like it to be? And as long as it's not the forestry pack or the grimy pack that we had last time, I'd be happy. Then didn't partake in either of those. Alright, so let's get this tether returned, it was leased, and then we're going to look at balers. I really can't decide which way to go. I thought about the uni wrap so that we could do silage bales, but I want to do pit silage. So it's between the coon and the pottinger, and went for the pottinger in the end because it was slightly cheaper. The other option would have given us bigger bales, so we wouldn't have to have quite so many, but so yeah, I suspect we're going to get quite a few bales off of here, even though this field wasn't fertilised and needs ploughing. So we should get another cut off of here before winter, and then we will plough and reseed this. And I'm still hoping in all the times that as I recorded this, I was saving and reloading occasionally because it was done in a few sittings, and I was hoping every time that these harvested contracts would crop up, I can see fields waiting to be harvested around me, and nope, no joy. So I think we will need to get our fertilizer spreader soon and knock some of those contracts out, and it means we can fertilize the grass that we've cut as well. So that's probably a good idea all round. Just finishing up this first field, fairly big field with quite a lot of bales, 25 bales off of here, and we're just going to quickly get the cow pasture baled, and then we will call it a day. We end up with about 37 bales of hay off of the two fields, so I need to get those in the shed next time. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed the video, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and if you're not, please subscribe and turn on notifications, and I'll catch you next time on Calmsden. Awesome map.